Um, I'm Nancy. I'm 24. I'm 25, actually. I just turned a quarter of a century, like not that long ago. I'm old. Um, Let me see. I just moved to Philly back in August, so that's a big thing. I worked in social services for a couple years, and then I'm in the middle of like a career change. So I just what did I do? So I left my job and then I decided to go back to school. So now I'm in school for higher education. I'm one out of three, which is I'm the oldest, which is awesome.
Wow.
Totally family oriented. There's not a day that goes by I don't talk to my family. It's actually funny because I texted them this morning and nobody has yet to respond. So, but that's pretty much it. That's like the gist of it.
Oh, awesome. That's so
Thank you.
awesome. So what are you going for this time? What is you said you were going through a whole career change. What a career are you trying to get more into now?
So I went from I was a criminology major when I was an undergrad, and originally I wanted to work in child services. I realized my freshman year that I was like, I hate child services. I did an internship and I had to do like my first child abuse report, and or like I was like witnessing someone do a child abuse report, and I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And so that was my freshman year. And I was a first year college student, or a first time, no, I was a first generation college student. And so I didn't know that you could change your major multiple times. But in my, like, I also didn't ask, like I was really like not embarrassed of it, but like I didn't want anybody's help. So I was like, I'll do it on my own. And so I was like, oh, too late to change my major now. And people change it like into their senior year. Um, so I was like, okay, like let's forget that. And then I ended up getting a job in social services after I graduated, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that. I was burnt out very, very quickly. And I worked in a domestic violence agency. So that's probably like a big thing that contributed to it. And then I was like, I've always wanted to work in higher ed. So I had a great experience. I went to Wilkes University and it was awesome. And I was a first gen student. And that in itself gave me such an amazing experience. And I just want to be there for other students who like just are first generation, are completely lost. They have no idea what they're doing, and really battle with like a lot of cultural differences. So I want to work with first generation students or international students. So that's the ultimate goal.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that. So
thank
what
you.
pushes you to continue to want to do that? What was your motivation? Like, what would you say was your biggest motivation?
The awful experience I had in social service, and it wasn't. Let me rephrase. It wasn't awful. Wait, I take that back. Can we not post this? Can you like summarize after?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It wasn't awful. It was just like I was so unhappy, and like I realized during COVID, actually, I started to realize how unhappy I was in my job, even though I always knew how unhappy, but like I really realized what a toll it was taking on me. I used to be the social butterfly, and going into social services, I was just so burnt out day in and day out. I would go home, eat, like numb myself with Netflix, and then do the same thing over again. And then by the time the
Wow.
weekend came over, I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I would sleep until noon on both days and like
Wow.
stuff my face in food because I love food. And it was just not a healthy cycle. So then I think like one of my cases was just like, it just pushed me over the edge. And it wasn't like a bad case. It was just, I was like, you know what? I really, really, really hate this. And so I was just gonna quit. Like I was gonna give my 2 weeks in. I had no backup plan. I was gonna work at a local grocery store because I knew that would make me happier. Um, and a friend of mine was like, well, you've always wanted to go to Philly, so why don't you just move to Philly? Mind you, this is in June, right? And
Mhm.
I was like, I can't just move to Philly like that. Like I was terrified. Dude, I was just so scared. And she's like, well, go back to school and you're gonna figure it out. And I was like, you're not wrong. So I applied in June. I got in July.
Mhm.
Um, and I found my roommates in July, like on Facebook or on Philadelphia roommates. And then I moved in August. And so it was just me being so unhappy and knowing that I was just miserable day in and day out, and I wasn't living life the way I should have. That was deep down the biggest motivation.
Oh, that's so lovely. I'm like so
Yeah.
proud of you, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
Super, super proud of you.
Thank
So,
you.
so what is some words of wisdom that you would like to give to everyone else out there? You could tell
Oh,
give some words of
damn.
wisdom.
I don't want to like take Nike. I don't want Nike to sue me, but like I say, just do it.
They're not gonna sue you for that.
No, I definitely it ask a lot. I say that all the time. I don't say just do. I say do it, and it's so simple. Like, um, yeah, just do it. And words of wisdom. That's literally. I really like looking back at it, like thinking about it now. That is a lot of like what I do. Even the smallest things. Like if it's like, oh, I'm gonna get Starbucks for the 7th time today. It's like, all right, I'm gonna just do it. And or if it's like jumping to the biggest change in my entire life, I was like, all right, we're just gonna do it. Like here we go. So but the biggest thing that I'm working on now is you are your biggest barrier. Like
Oh, yes.
and that is huge. And then the way you talk to yourself is so important. And it's not an easy switch. Like just reflecting and just being kind to yourself and being patient with yourself. And you're your best companion, so make a good one.
Yes, perfect. That's definitely perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's
thanks.
crazy what goes on in this world. So with the COVID experience, I gotta have the COVID questions.
Oh my god, yeah.
How was your experience during COVID before everything hit? What was going on? What were the things you were doing before?
Ooh. Okay, so like, because remember, everything shut down within a matter of days, which is crazy.
So what happened?
Absolute
Let's say
crazy.
what happened a week. So what were you doing the week before COVID hit? And then what happened
Oh,
once COVID came in and you were on lockdown?
oh wow, that's a really good question. Oh my, can I steal that? That's a great like line. That's a great like what is it called? Icebreaker.
Yes, you
Um,
can.
a week before COVID. Okay. Was I the legal advocate? I think so I was in housing so I worked at the Women's Resource Center in Scranton, and I was in housing. So I did housing for a while, and then I applied for the legal advocate spot and I got it. And I remember, yes, okay, I was the legal advocate because the week that I started, I had only been in court for 1 day. So the week that we
Wow.
shut down, I was in court, and then they were like, we're shutting the court down tomorrow. And I'm like, what do you mean the court? Like, and I, as a legal advocate, you work with women to get protection from abuse orders, which people just like they're just restraining orders, or you accompany them for like criminal charges that either they, unfortunately were seen as the primary aggressor, or if, it was like a severe case or anything like that. But I remember the week that COVID hit, I had only spent a short amount of time in the courthouse. And then my friends and I, like, we're such millennials or Gen Z or whatever we are, because we were like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I have health insurance. Like, we were really just like, I think it was like our coping mechanism, just kind of making a joke out of it, which looking back, it's really not funny. We laugh about it, but like, it was bad. And then my supervisor was like, we're closing. Or no, she was like, we might be closing. So we would go home, and then the next day we come in, it's like, you have a couple of hours to get your things together, or this is your last day because we're closing tomorrow. And I remember thinking it was crazy. I was like, what do you mean we're closing tomorrow? Because as a domestic violence agency, you don't close. You just don't do that, And so I'm as on the side, and I feel like I'm going on a rant, sorry. But I'm very nervous to see what the statistics are after COVID regarding domestic violence cases, because our hotline was completely silent for about a month. Completely silent. Mind you, we had never, and when I mean completely silent, we would go from like 100 calls a day, and you're talking about 10, 20 calls. Like it was, I mean, I'm just like, I'm not saying the exact statistics, but it was silent. There was nothing, and it was scary. As soon as as soon as May hit, the hotline was on fire. It was crazy. People were indoors for, at this point, 2 months. It had just skyrocketed. So I'm actually really nervous to see what those statistics are. Give it like a year or two. But anyways, not to be like a Debbie Downer, but it's a reality, you know?
It is a reality.
And yeah. And so then once COVID hit, I was stuck at home, and I ended up like so I was living on my own. So I was living on my own, and then it's scary. You don't know what it was. It was like the horror movies or the thriller movies, you know, and my parents only lived 12 minutes away, and I say that exactly because I've timed it multiple times. And I just went back home, and we just spent it together. I hardly went out unless I needed to, or unless my mom needed me to. My younger sisters and I spent the whole time together. We built puzzles.
Wow.
Like, it was great, and I love my family. So, and I'm really fortunate to be able to have like a safe home. So
that's awesome.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That was awesome. So what are some struggles that you faced in life? What are some struggles?
Damn, you're really like digging deep. Oh my goodness. Okay, struggles. I had a great childhood. I don't have any childhood, like crazy childhood trauma, which I'm very, very fortunate. But one of like my biggest struggles is I didn't realize I suffered from mental illness. And I don't feel comfortable like throwing it out, because like my parents don't even know what like my diagnosis is. But only like a handful of people know. But I didn't realize that I did, and I struggled with it. And I remember like my first like episode was when I was a senior in high school. And in college, like I went from like a straight A student to like barely surviving, like barely graduating, you know? And so after, this past year, actually, it's been 1 year since I got my diagnosis, and I'm a huge advocate for everybody needs to go to therapy. It's great. But that's the only, not the only thing, but like that's what really, really affected the last 6 years of my life. So I'm very fortunate that I found a wonderful therapist who was awesome. I don't see her anymore, but she was an amazing therapist, and she recommended me to an amazing psychiatrist. She's also wonderful. And it had it not been for them, and had, you know, like, I don't think I would have, this past year, I really don't think I would have survived I wouldn't have, I really do. I truly believe that. I 150% think that I would not be here today had it not been for them.
I feel that, because I've been through some tough times too myself. Mm-hmm. Actually, a long time ago, I just went to a doctor like 2 years ago to get a new diagnosis. But a long time ago, when I was younger, I was diagnosed with like bipolar depression, a whole bunch of other stuff, multiple personalities. So when I went and visited the doctor again, and I spoke to him, and soon enough, he said that all of my my things were gone. The only thing I still had was multiple personalities. I didn't have bipolar anymore, depression anymore. I didn't have none of that. And my whole family was thinking I was crazy, because I was running my business, and they would think that I'm crazy because I always had these goals that I wanted in life, right? And they weren't even small goals. They were like big goals. They were like goals that you wanted like for the rest of your life. And they're like, oh, you're crazy. You're having a manic episode, this, and that. And the doctor sat right in front of my mom and told her, your son is not being manic. Your son is chasing his dreams.
Oh, that's an awesome doctor.
A man can dream, and a man can make things happen. You just need to believe in your son. He's wanting to be successful. Why would he not set goals for himself? Why would you be a person? He said, why would you be someone who doesn't set goals for yourself? When you set goals for yourself, you know that once you hit that goal, you're going to set another one and keep it going and keep it going. And so, you know, that speaking on like your struggles that you faced, you know, I've had to do the same thing where I've had to go to therapists and seen a bunch of people to talk to. And, you know, now that I'm like older now, you know, it's a lot better on me.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's such an amazing doctor. So I'm really happy that that's someone that was in your life, or is certainly in your life. And thank you for sharing. That's not easy, coming out and being like, this is what it is.
Of course.
So thank you. I appreciate
can relate
that.
to you. Yeah, I can relate to you. So it's kind of just like, you know, when you can relate to somebody, you know, you always just open up and let them know, like, this is like what
Mm-hmm.
I've been through, and this is where
Yeah.
it got me to here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm like happy that both of us are in a better position in life to where we could just
Oh
be like,
yeah.
yay, yay, yay.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
Definitely did. We definitely. So that's like so freaking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
so awesome. So what is a positive message you would like to give other people? Positive message. Very positive message.
Positive.
Yes.
Oh, positive.
Yes.
You're never. I don't. Maybe you can word it better than I can. Um, you're never too much for the right people.
Mm-hmm.
So for those, okay. So this is one of my favorite stories. So going back to my therapist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll never forget. She's like, because I remember the one day I like went in, cried. You know, like good therapy, you're always crying, right? So I go in there, I'm breaking down, and I was like, I just feel like I'm too much. And so she literally stopped me in my tracks, and she's like, okay, this is your personality. Check it out. So when you go to a restaurant, you get a bowl of soup, and you're like, oh my God, this is the best soup I have ever had in my entire life. But the person across from you is like, Nancy, it's literally just a cup of soup. And I'm like, no, it's the best soup of my entire life. And she's like, that's the kind of personality you have. Like, it's not like because again, going back to like the diagnoses, I was like, this is just what it feels like. And this is how I am. And she's like, it's not that, it's just your personality. And remember that. And I always, again, goes back to what I was saying earlier, like being kind to yourself, you know. And I always think like, ooh, I'm too much. Like, ooh, I gotta like simmer down. And I think about her, and I think about the soup analogy. So my words to everyone is, you're not too much. And like you're the perfect amount for the right people.
Oh, that's so
And
good.
I have some amazing friends where like I'm all over the place, and none of them, they're not mean about it. They're not like, okay, like you went from one thing to another, like calm your down. And then they're like, okay, wait, focus. And I'm like, you're right. Like, so yeah, you're never going to be too much for the right person.
All right, here we go. You ready for this next segment? So now
Oh
we're
my
gonna do a
God,
new
I'm scared.
segment. I have
We
to
already
edit this.
went so
So
deep.
I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna edit this video, and this is a new segment I'm gonna start doing for interviews. But I'm gonna now ask you questions from other people who have done written interviews. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask you questions that they want to ask everybody. So
Oh,
here's
this
a
is
question.
cool.
Here's a question from Ola. She says, "What is your biggest dream that became true?"
Moving to Philly. Moving to Philly. I had been talking about this since I was a junior in college. Like, and that was 3 years, almost 4 years ago. And I finally did it. And like the fact that I'm here and every day I get to walk to work and I see the skyline, I'm like, I did it. Like, I remind myself, like, you really did that. I'm like gonna cry because like that's literally like the dream and the goal that I set for myself. And then I literally just did it.
Oh my gosh, that's super. I'm so proud of
Thanks.
you. Like, I'm
I'm
so
like
proud of you.
like the tears are in my eyes.
Oh my gosh. So here's a question from Valeria.
Okay.
What is most important to you, love or career?
Love, definitely. Hands down. Money will come and go, but that's forever. Any kind of love. For real.
That is true though. That is true though. Love can last a lifetime, but money can fade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's right.
All right. Here's a question from Chris. How do you get motivation?
Man, I'm still trying to find it. um I think about my family. Like, would they be proud of me? And if the answer is no, then it's like, damn, gotta change it up.
That's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. That's very, very
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I like that.
I love them. They're my whole world. Like, after my entire world.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right. All right. So here it goes. I'm looking at another question for someone else. Let me see if I can find you a good one because there's like a bunch of them that people are like talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here is one that I gotta ask. This is a good one, actually. It's a very, very good one. All right. So what makes you want to stay alive through the rough times? This
Ooh.
is from Ella.
Again, family. Like they're literally the foundation of everything for me, which is a great thing, but then it could be not a complex, like it can be your own barrier. Like a lot of times the reason I never like studied abroad was because I was too scared to go, like to leave my family. And I was like, I can't do that. So then when I moved out, I was like, I'm moving out for myself. And then when I moved 150 miles away, it's like, but it's my family.
All right, so we got one more question for you.
Okay.
This is from Brian Aiken. So, who inspires or who has had the greatest influence on you?
Oh, my mama. My mom's a boss ass bitch. Yeah, if I'm half the woman that she is, like, she's amazing. And I gotta talk her up real quick. Like, she is just a boss, and she's short. Like, I'm 4'11", she's like 4'10", or 4'9", like, and the whole family's short. And so she just does it. And like, I don't know if I'm gonna have kids one day, or if I even want kids someday, but like, she has set the ultimate like status. What's the word I'm thinking? She has set the ultimate. What's the word?
The ultimate bar or something?
Thank you. I couldn't think of it. That's why I was doing this. She has set the bar high. So she is my biggest motivation of the whole family, but she is my biggest inspiration.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
so freaking lovely. So the last question for me is, what are your plans for 2021? I know that they said COVID is still going to be probably, things are going to get shut down, blah, 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 blah. But possibly, hopefully they'll get a vaccine and everybody can be all good to go, by spring, summer. But what are you planning for 2021 right now?
Oh, man.
We're getting close.
The hard part is that you're saying planning. We saw this year, even when we plan, it doesn't work out, at least with this. But okay, this is me being like a complete optimist. Ready? So all the healthcare workers are going to get this vaccine. Everybody's going to live. It's going to be lit. That's what I know is going to happen deep down. What I have planned is to just meet people. After isolating myself for 2 years and then COVID butting in and isolating the whole world for a whole year, like I miss just being that social butterfly. Like I miss just being able to go up to someone and be like, yo, how are you doing? Or like this, like, how do you like come across my page a year ago? First of all, I only posted like once every 7 months. Okay. And I was just like, I would have been like, who the fuck are you? No, I don't want to talk to you. Like, I would literally say that, like, I hate people. I mean, I still kind of say that because some people are annoying.
Yes.
But I would be like, I hate people. I don't want to talk to anybody. And now I'm like, I just want to meet people and hear their stories and just be able to like hear like what they went through the day or like what they plan for tomorrow. Like, I love that. So my plan for 2021 is to talk to more people and do more things. I'm basic. So that's the plan.
That's like a big thing. That's like a big thing we all need to work on in this world, is learning to speak to each other. Like, if you cannot listen, if you cannot speak to someone properly, you don't need to speak to someone at all.
Exactly.
That's how I feel. Because
100%.
Like, I'll tell you right now, there's people that will go in my DMs literally and be like, who the fuck are you? Why are you messaging me? Like, whoa, bro. You could have just asked me how I was doing.
Right.
Or say like, hey, what's this about, or what's going on? Like, I seldomly get those messages, but it does happen.
Yeah.
And it's sad to me having to just delete the conversation or block the person. It makes me sad because how Instagram has a little 3 things.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike Facebook, who has a like button and you can't dislike anything. Instagram has a, do you want to block, do you want to delete, or do you want to accept?
It literally gives you options. Freaking, I love Instagram. It's my platform. I love it. I really do.
Yeah, I like Instagram just to do my interviews though, of course, but my website's the star thing.
Yeah.
So awesome. Thank you so much, Nancy, for doing this.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
you
Wait,
were
so
in,
let me ask you questions. Hold
oh,
on.
come
So
on,
how
come
did
on.
this start?
Okay. Let's start. Let's start from the beginning. All right. I'm gonna throw you back
Okay.
7 years ago. Because
Oh wow.
I'm 23 now.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going back 7 years to when I was 16 years old.
Oh wow.
Okay? So from 16, I was sitting in a room
Mm-hmm.
and I came up with this name that I've always wanted. So I always listen to this song by JoJo called Too Little Too Late. I don't know if you heard
Mm-hmm.
of the artist named JoJo.
No, but send it to me like in message and I'll look it up.
And she used to say this word all the time called like that's no way to live, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
be thinking to like, yeah, people don't live that. Like people live in a way that's like no way to live. And so I said, wait, I put the acronyms of that's no way to live within that and throw movement at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then from there, I named my company TNWTL Movement. So when I
Mm-hmm.
first started, I started interviewing my friends
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube. We started doing interviews with all of my friends and people that I was talking to in my life at the time on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So freaking cool. Then I decided to widen up and go on Instagram. And
Oh.
I did Instagram and I started doing Instagram. I even did dating sites. You'll be surprised. I even interviewed people off of dating sites. And
Wow.
after that, 3 years later, I started up a website.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started the website, that's when I started doing interviews on, through messages and stuff like that and begin
Mm-hmm.
all that little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on the site for like 3 years, all the way up until last year, which was when I changed the whole site, the
Mm-hmm.
TNWTL movement site. I officially stopped interviewing
Mm-hmm.
on that site and changed it to a search engine. So now that
Okay.
site's the search engine.
Okay.
Never guess what company now owns interviews and does interviews. That's my new company I created just 3 months ago called People Globally.
People what?
People Globally. The
Globally.
interview,
Oh,
yeah, the interview we're doing now is for the new company I just started 3 months ago.
congratulations! That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
That is wow.
Yes. So
That
I
is
go
hard work right there.
Yes. So I went from a search engine to being like, let's start up a new company that's dedicated straight for interviews. We always share our interviews because before I wasn't sharing the interviews like I am now. So now
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets their interviews, video interview, anything. I share it to everybody. I let everybody get their
Mm-hmm.
interviews. It goes out. I'm even posting old interviews from the old site that are
Mm-hmm.
still on my email that have not even
Uh-huh.
posted on the new site. And it's just like seeing like all of this just happen is just like one big
Mm-hmm.
circle. Like I don't even really focus on my search engine anymore because that
Mm-hmm.
site's just getting traffic like hundreds and even thousands of views a day. So I just leave it
That's
alone.
awesome. That's really neat. That's great. Well, congratulations.
Yes.
That's great. I'm really happy for you. 7 years. And you must have met some amazing people though. Like being
Yes.
able to hear. I mean, because your questions are deep. I was thinking like, what do you do for a living?
No, I don't ask. Like that's the thing. Like when you see all these interviews, because trust me, throughout my lifetime, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. There's gonna be over at least a million videos of people sharing their stories with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I can take that. But when you go on the site and you go to, because there's now a new thing I just started yesterday.
Okay.
It's called People Globally TV. That's where all the
Okay.
interviews. Yeah, it's a whole
Okay.
new thing where all the interviews are gonna go, and all the video interviews that is.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much when you see all those videos, you'll be able to listen to everyone's stories. You're gonna even be able to see people do their own TV shows are gonna be back in the back end on that site.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see people do live performances for music if they're into
Oh,
music.
cool.
You're gonna see people
Yeah.
do like other stuff like that. Like I'm talking to people to have them do like different types of like series and shows for
Mm-hmm.
like people globally. And I just want to build this into a whole platform where you get to see the life of people all over the world,
That's awesome.
written and video.
Jeremy, Jeremy, that's amazing. Well, I'm gonna follow you. You're definitely gonna have to drop all those links because I'm easily forgetful. So drop those links in the Instagram message because I want to follow you. I want to see this process. Like it just sounds amazing.
Oh, you're gonna see it all fall out like
That's
crazy.
well,
Actually,
I'm
this month, you're finna see me go a little crazy because right now,
okay.
um, I'm, I'll go ahead and spoil it. Dang it, guys. So actually, recently I just partnered with a very big company,
Mm-hmm.
and the company is CocaCola.
Oh wait, you said that. I saw you post that on something, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's okay. So what does that mean exactly?
So basically, I can make money off of Coca-Cola by selling their products.
Yeah. Everybody be drinking Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Wow, honestly, that is a fucking huge. Forgive me if you don't curse. I curse
No,
at the sailor.
I cuss. Trust me.
But that is phenomenal. That's what freaking Apple, or not Apple. Yeah, that's what Apple tried to partner up with when like Steve Jobs first started.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that. Yeah.
Yes, Coca-Cola. It's awesome. We're actually getting ready to drop an ad. I got a girl doing a whole little ad, and I'm gonna send you a picture of the cute little sweater she's gonna be wearing.
Do it. Oh my God. Please. I'm going to follow you religiously. Like, I don't know if you can set up like notifications on Instagram, but
you can.
Okay. I didn't know that. So I want to see this process. I cannot wait to see you like just grow in the whole business, girl. That's amazing.
It's gonna be awesome.
It
I can't
is.
wait.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. December was actually the month I decided to like go crazy.
Good. It's the last month of the year. Might as well go out with a bang. I mean, fucking
Right.
2020 needs to be over.
Please, can we get to 2021?
Oh, I'm praying it's a good year. I just want to live.
Just live for a little bit, you know. But
yeah,
literally,
exactly.
thank you so much. Like,
absolutely, thank you for reaching. Wait, I did have a question. How did you find my page?
Okay, so let me tell you how I do interviews. All right. So everybody that's still watching, please don't take my idea, but if you want to, go ahead. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna just take a little quick peek. So you know how you got people's on their explore page, right? Mm-hmm. Literally, all I'll do is go to a post. I'll go on the post. So you see how people are liking people's posts? Mm-hmm. I'll go on someone's likes. So like this post has like 1,957 likes. I already have a pre-saved message where I send that to you guys. Mm-hmm. And whenever I send that to y'all usually respond in the DM, right? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, my name is Jeremy. I was wondering if I could interview you. Some people think it's fake, and some people think it's fake, and a lot of people believe it's real. So then once you message me, that's when I start telling you about the interview. And then you choose whether you want to do a written or a video interview. And then we get to this point here.
So you found the picture, like my picture on the explore page?
I found your page on another person's page through the explore page when I was doing
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, do you remember? I'm just curious because I'm really trying to grow my following. Like I'm trying to get I figure out the algorithm, like I play around with the algorithm every here now and then. But I'm trying to grow it, and I'm like, when you found me, I was like, who is this person? Are they human, or is this like a robot? So that's why I was curious, and I needed to ask.
Oh no, I'm real as ever. I make sure everybody. That's why I always put my personal page at the front. If you like go on the actual page, you'll see my personal page is like where it says founder. I put that on there so you know that like, okay, this is an actual dude trying to interview me. Who's the guy behind it, and then it'll take you straight to my page.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yeah, a lot of people follow it.
Right. So are you gonna post the video, or is it like a quick? Because I was following your